I just made $750 in about 6 minutes, shorting the S&P from this resistance level. What a trade. Everything was just perfect. The location, the confirmation, the target. It was just classic textbook A plus setup trade. So let's start from the beginning and cover the analysis of this trade. As you guys know, I like to keep it very simple. I look at very simple support and resistance levels, key levels, supply and demand, all that good stuff. Here you can see, obviously, from the pre-market, we had all these highs, which was obvious resistance here as well. And this also aligned with this low right here. So it kept rejecting this low. So this for me was a key level to trade off. Now we had CPI news right here. So this candle, basically, the CPI candle already swept all these highs. If this wouldn't have happened, then during market open, I would have waited for a sweep. But since this candle already for me swept all these highs, all the liquidity, I wasn't really going to wait for another sweep again of these highs. Even though, now, for example, a bit later, once I'm already all out of my trade, the market went all the way down over here and then all the way up, swept all these highs again, and then it's now starting to reject again from there. But for my case, since this candle already for me swept all these highs, I wasn't really waiting for another sweep. I just wanted a good confirmation on the bookmap, and this basically was it. So we had this range right here on the bookmap, as you'll see in a second, that there was a lot of consolidation and then aggressive selling, and we had a nice drop to the downside. So I was waiting just for price at the market open, which was right here, my time 3:30 in the afternoon, for price to return into this range and then show confirmation to go short. And my target was pretty simple. It was just the pre-market lows, which was this one, 6701.50, and we also had a massive bid at the 700s. But for me, I obviously know that many times these pre-market lows or pre-market highs, they get swept, and then there's a massive reversal. So I didn't want to be greedy. It was a great trade. See 5-hour trade target. Obviously, I took some targets, some partials, sorry, at the 14.25. So this is where I took partials, and there was a big bid over here. So my risk to reward in the end wasn't 5. It was about 3.40, 3.50 R, which is very good, obviously, but that's just what happens when you take partials. You skew your risk to reward a little bit. But long term, for me, it actually plays in my favor to take partials. So as you can see, beautiful entry, good stop loss location, and the target was just beautiful, even though, yes, it did drop a lot further to my next level that I had marked out. But again, I didn't want to be greedy. This was just my plan. I followed my plan, and this is exactly what happened. So let's go to the bookmap and cover the entry. So here you can see this is where I entered at the 26.75s. But let's just go back a little bit and explain why I had this range drawn out. So here you can see from the pre-market. On the M1, we had this double top right here. This was a CPI candle. And here you can see we had some heavy buying at the top and then a lot of heavy selling. And this is what made this drop basically to the downside. So for me, this whole range right here, where you can see the consolidation, then the push up and then the push down, for me, so from where the consolidation started to the high is the range that I was looking to sell from. And then price eventually at the market open comes back with a lot of heavy buying. Look at that. If I'm zoomed out, I'm now obviously with a 15-minute interval, so you can see how much heavy buying there was. Let's zoom in a little bit. There was heavy buying right here, a lot of weaker selling, again heavy buying, and then here a lot of heavy buying. Look at those contract sizes: 562, 174, 350. But then, very funnily enough, you see all the heavy buying, aggressive buying at the top, but the price isn't pushing upwards. All right, so if the price is pushing upwards with all this heavy buying, there's a big chance that price will just keep going up and up and up. Okay, but here the buyers were trying, but they couldn't. Okay, they failed. Another time they tried and they failed. And here you can see that buying was weakening. And as soon as I saw on this pullback right here, which was just, you guys already know that if you watched the channel before, I like to look for double tops for sales or just lower highs, and you can see lower highs were being set. If we draw a line right here, you can see lower highs were being set, and every pop now was with weaker buying that was failing. So here, as soon as I saw this pop up with a lot of weak buying, I was just waiting for aggressive selling to step in, and here I saw aggressive selling at the 26.75s, and that was exactly my entry. As you can see right here, 26.75, this was exactly my entry. So this is where I entered, and I had a 5-point stop loss. Okay, so my stop loss was at 31.75. So I had some room. Okay, I like to use bigger stop losses lately, so I'm just less stressed about having the perfect entry, because if I obviously enter here with a 2-point stop loss, then I would get ticked out, and I have to look for a re-entry, and then emotions come into play and all that. So I just rather have a little bit extra room for error. And that's it. Basically, it just makes me a lot calmer, and I'm actually a lot more profitable since I do that. So yes, we started off with the trade with a nice move to the downside, a couple of points in profit. Then we had a little retrace, nothing major, just a bit of drawdown, maybe like 40% of drawdown. And then, again, very quickly to the downside. And my target for this, we had the 701.50s, which was right here, which was the pre-market lows right here. And then you can see this massive bid here at the 700. So I was thinking of potentially targeting the 700s. But then again, I know many times reversals happen from pre-market lows or pre-market highs. So I just wanted not to be greedy and follow my plan and just target the pre-market lows and be happy with that. I did take partials here at the 1425s right here at this bid. Okay, so we also had these equal lows right here. So potentially we could have seen a little sweep of that and a little retrace that might take us our break even, who knows. So I was just happy taking partials at the 1425s, which I was already 12 points in profit, and take my position half off, and basically let the rest run to the 701.50s. And this obviously was a good target. You can see how many big blocks we had of bids, right? And this happens a lot lately, where I see very close to each other, there's massive blocks, and I just reckon these are stop loss, because since last week and the week before and this week now as well with this trade, the price just completely ignores all these bids. It's not even reacting to those. Okay, not even a small reaction. It's getting filled, and then it just completely smashes through it. And obviously it went a lot further down to my next level, and then finally from this bid it actually did react finally, and then had a massive V-shaped reversal and a very big rally, even though it had a little bit of a retrace. But anyways, so this was pretty much my trade. Everything was very clean. You can see again, very heavy buying, but it's not going anywhere. It's trying to, but it's failing. You can see immediate drop, and then another time, and then another drop, and then we see finally weaker buying and with some aggressive selling. And there, I was just willing to risk it, and then even if I wouldn't have entered here, then I see another pop here. Again, that's failing, so I probably would have entered right here at this weaker buying, which would have been the same, 26.75. This would be another entry opportunity. You see, again, aggressive buying, but it's failing. See a little retrace over here with weaker buying. This is where you can potentially enter again around the same area that I had my entry, with stop loss about 5 points. And yeah, just target the same, around the 700s or the pre-market lows, the 701s, .50s. So yeah, this was a beautiful trade, and a lot of gains were made. Nice R multiple as well. So this was great for my account. So yeah. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions about how I choose my levels or about the book map and the order flow, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.